I got a lot of stuff I got to do today, including a court hearing to see if the judge will continue my court case just for a little bit, just to give me some reprieve to handle the house and to make up for the lost time of being down power, down internet still intermittent here at my house. There will just be a moment when it just goes out, and it takes a little while to get back up. Sometimes it's goes down for 5 minutes. Sometimes it goes down for a couple hours. So hey guys, it's nice to see you. Samantha, Pale, Cindy, good morning, Mr. and Mrs. Car Guy. Big hugs and loves to you guys. Rhonda, it's nice to see you. Amanda, Courts Crime Couch, love it. Football Mom, good morning. Miss Lee, Mom of 3, Chasing Crimes, good morning, beautiful. It's nice to see you. Clarissa, good morning. Good morning. I gotta get, once we get on this, I'll have to drop some of y'all's links and stuff like that on here. If you guys don't know, Clarissa sells shirts, and I love the what is it, true crime and coffee, fueled on true crime and coffee or something. I gotta go get it. I gotta go get this shirt. I can't remember what it says, but I love that shirt. I do love that shirt. I love the MAGA Bullhorn Betty shirt too. Betty for 2024. I can't lie. I do love these. I do love these. It's nice to see you, sweet Jenna. Sam, I am. It's nice to see you. Jojo, Gigi for life. It's nice to see you as well. DNA, Bobby, Sharon, Gypsy, good morning, my love. I know you're doing well today. Nice to see you, my love. Suzanne, Dawn. I already said hi to Mr. and Mrs. Car Guy, but if not, hey. Mag 50, Ashley, Lisa, Miss Lee, Mama 3. It's my 2-year anniversary. Yay! Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Miss Lee, Mama 3. Happy birthday to you. Okay, I'm gonna stop. I didn't check my pipes this morning. Kendra, it's nice to see you. YouTuber, Shining Star, Debbie, Susan, it's nice to see you. Angelina, good morning. Stacy S, it's nice to see you. Beth, good morning. Tony, did I say good morning to you, Rhonda? If I didn't, good morning. Our Georgia Patriot woman, it's nice to see you. Yes, I did. I read some of the emails. I got a lot of emails. I've been getting kind of behind in them, but yes, we've been keeping an eye on everything, guys. I can promise you that. Vermont girl, it's nice to see you. Stacy, Stephanie, it's nice to see you all. Good morning, good morning. As many of you guys know, people have, and it really upsets me because I wish people would get up to, if you're going to talk about something, at least do your due diligence and your fact finding. Colin did not do that. I think that's what his name is. Did not do that, and I find it, a little problematic when you're on here talking about something that you literally have invested 0 time in to find out the true facts of the case. This is not a situation of people talking about a case. We all know that. The people that aren't delusional know that. These people literally didn't like what was going on, didn't like us being involved, and tried to get us fired from jobs, have us locked up, thrown in jail, brigading local law enforcement to the point that they're calling my attorney, begging my attorney to literally just stop because these people won't stop calling their office, and their tiny little town can't handle all of the calls that they're getting from these hate channels. We've got all of this stuff cataloged and logged. This is not something where people are just talking smack on YouTube. We all know that. Okay, this is going not only real life, but orchestrating a complete campaign to take people out and ruin their lives. That's what this is about. So let's stop all the, oh, I'm a victim BS. Okay, they know what they did. They know that they're in hot water. We've got a lot of evidence against them. There's going to be a lot more coming out, and I just want you guys to hear what Nick has to say, because I want people to understand the severity of this. And people can say, no big deal. They don't have standing. I can promise you that I don't see these types of attorneys getting involved in this case if they didn't think that they had a good case. Just saying. We've got literally 3 attorneys from New York, what is the states? New York, Pennsylvania, and Florida. Okay. It's my understanding there's another attorney in another state that's already coming aboard. They're hitting in all these states. I just want to let you know that this is, they can sit there and talk. I've I'm not going to warn people because they need to make their own bed and it's only going to benefit me. So I'm staying out of it. I'm not addressing any of it. Other than this, I'm going to let Nick the Hat address this stuff moving forward. He's been updating our the guy that they said was in jail, right? These people don't get anything right. When are you guys going to wake up from the delusion and understand these people have lied to you for years? Lied to you for years, okay? Predominantly about me. But now they're taking what they did to me and start utilizing it on other people. And these people have a lot more horsepower than Bullhorn Betty. And Bullhorn Betty is absolutely happy to work with these people to get this stuff done. There is a syndicate on this platform that gets paid to bully people. That is a follow the money. That's all I'm going to say. Follow the money. All right, so here's Nick the Hat. Let's listen to what he has to say. Oops, let me turn this just ever so slightly. There we go. There he is. Whoa, Nick the Hat. Whoa, 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 whoa. Right, okay. All right, I'm going to stop.
Okay, guys, we are on day 238 of the disappearance for Sebastian Rogers. Sebastian vanished on February 25th into the 26th in Sumner County, Tennessee, and he became a ghost in the machine ever since. You guys saw the news that we have initiated litigation. What you guys saw is just Pennsylvania. There are multiple states where we are initiating this litigation. New York, Florida, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Michigan, Virginia. There's a few more states along that, California. But we are initiating approximately 10 different lawsuits across 10 different states with the intent of combining them into a federal injunction and a federal lawsuit. So yeah, right now you guys are seeing the first round of litigation that just went out. I guess that's our first shots fired. It's the first of many. Again, we are filing 10 lawsuits in 10 different states with the intent to combine.
Does this sound like it's a joke? Do you guys understand how much money it costs to do all this? I mean, I'm just taking a moment for people to put into their brains how much this is actually costing our end of this, and predominantly at night. How much it's costing them to file this lawsuit, hire the attorneys, make a 700 and some odd page filing, and going to do it in 10 other states. So these people can sit there and hee and ha and ho. But what they have done to me and other people are criminal. And they do need to be stopped. And they won't stop on their own. And this is the only way we're going to get this syndicate, this enterprise, to end this enterprise. This capitalization, this money-making rage pay of attacking people, going real life and trying to get them fired from their jobs or locked up because they don't like their involvement in a case and they don't like their commentary. We keep all of our commentary on our channel. We don't go and do real life. We don't go and call people's jobs and get them fired. This is not good. Let's keep going.
Combine them all together and make them federal. Enough is enough. This is about cyberbullying that has deterred the case, and I can see that more bullies are coming on board. I welcome you to submit your motions with the court. They would love to hear from you. Trust me, it'll make our jobs easier too. So go ahead and file that. Be sure to follow the procedure.
And I think that is related a specific direction to SF, because let's face it, he has not been very good. We've watched him turn on multiple parents in multiple cases. You got Kylie Rodney's father and grandfather. You got Dylan Round's mother that he chose to attack. You got Jennifer Santinello that he chose to attack. And now you've got Seth Rogers that he chose to attack. You see a pattern of behavior with that man, and all of that will be flushed out in this proceeding. So he's only making the job easier to show what he's willing to do. And so I wish him the best, but thank you. I don't know what else to say. Yeah, I think he's making the lawyer's jobs a little easier because he's already submitting to, in my opinion, that was an answer, and he's already submitting to the jurisdiction of the federal proceedings in Pennsylvania. But that's for the attorneys to decide whether they feel the same way or not. I would take it as that, and I would argue that he's already submitted to the courts in Pennsylvania, and he's well versed and knowledgeable on the facts of the case. And by him filing his answer is what I would couch it as opposed to a non-party whatever, because let's face it, he's all over these documents. So but I don't know. I don't want to get into legal theories and stuff like that, because that's just my own personal opinion. I haven't talked to the attorneys about it, but I did send an email saying I think he submitted already to the courts upon his filing. So we'll see how that all works out and what goes on from here. But I think he's making the job a lot easier, not harder, quite frankly.
Procedures and whatnot, I would consult an attorney in Pennsylvania if you're going to file a motion in Pennsylvania, because it's much different. But nevertheless, guys, we are going to 10 states with this. Pennsylvania is the first for obvious reasons. Like Mr. Castor said, the Declaration of Independence was signed 13 miles away from the courthouse where we intend to bring these people. And there's a lot of them. It's not just Barbecue Lady. It's not just Granny is Watching. Those are 2 lead defendants, and you'll see more coming. Lots more. There are 50 people we intend to bring in, and we intend to litigate to the end. Those that think there's discovery and stuff like this, you guys are funny. This is not a discovery type of case. We're not asking for money. This is an injunction, and if you know what an injunction is, great. If you don't, great. It's not something to play games with. At the end of the day, we are not going to stop until Sebastian is found. The bullies are really working overtime to stop that, and it doesn't work, right? You guys can't really stop it. All the troll accounts, we sent out subpoenas to X, we sent out subpoenas to YouTube, Google, Alphabet Inc.,
and we also heard from another person that's not well versed in the law that I don't think they're going to comply. It's a subpoena in a federal case, and they can go before a judge and have an order created. This is something that they've opened a federal case. I mean, the attorneys have subpoena power in active litigation. So I don't understand why they think that these social media networks are not going to comply. They will absolutely be forced to comply regardless. And quite frankly, a authorized subpoena in an active case goes directly to their legal department. They don't really mess with those things. We learned that with QB's attorney trying to use my case to find out information on another person related to a totally different case. He was able to file a subpoena, even though I objected and everything else. He was able to send that subpoena off to Google, and there was nothing we could do about it. And he got his information in the timeliness that he needed his information. So there is even QB knows very good and well that these statements about social media fighting is a flat out lie, because her own attorney did the same thing.
Meta, all of the troll accounts, we're getting their IP addresses. We're going to match them back to those that own the troll accounts. From there, those individuals will be dragged through and brought into Pennsylvania or California or Tennessee, whichever jurisdiction they are in. Again, we are going to be filing in 10 different states, 10 different lawsuits with the intent to make them federal. The goal here is to stop the nonsense, find Sebastian Rogers, and we will.
This is not about them talking about Sebastian Rogers' case. It's about them aligning themselves and destroying people's lives in an effort to sway people's minds away from the actual factual evidence into this delusional fairy tale land of Seth being the predator, Seth being a pedo, Seth, these are dangerous things. And not only that, the things that are still coming out of this Yahoo's mouth related to Seth with unsubstantiated information, he clearly doesn't. If he had the information to support his claims, why hasn't he produced it? Right? You can't make claims of facts without having the facts. That's called defamation. And not only that, but this is defamation per se. You don't even need to, Seth doesn't even need to prove the allegations. He only needs to prove that it was stated and it's damaging. He doesn't have to go after finances. You guys, okay, well.
Once these clowns get out of the way, once these keyboard warriors get out of the way, Sebastian will come home. Again, guys, stay safe. Remain vigilant. We're under the assumption that Sebastian Rogers is alive. Again, we are operating under that assumption. If you see something, obviously alert authorities and remain safe. Stop the bullying. Stop the doxing. Stop all of that. It's not worth it. It's not worth the money that you're going to be spending in litigation. It's really not. We just started and it's a rather big bill on our end, so I can't imagine the other end. So guys, again, all we're asking for is for some civility here. We're not asking for money. If these individuals were to agree tomorrow to the terms, which include to stop bullying.
Okay, so they have a way out. All they have to do is agree to quit bullying people, quit going real life, quit trying to destroy people and people's reputations. And let me guess, they would rather fight this in a court of law, saying they have a right to destroy people's lives and reputations. And they really think that's going to be an argument a judge is going to, side with. When they see what these people have done and what they've done behind the scenes and what they've done in front of the scenes, I really don't think they're going to be very proud of themselves of what's going to be going on. But that's just my opinion.
Tuesday, we would have the agreement, and then Wednesday, the judge will review the agreement and decide whether or not she or he wants to accept it. The judge may very well say, no, I'm not accepting this. I want those women to appear before me so I can see what's going on.
I would like, Vicky, you to tell me who I just come out, I just targeted. I say, ooh, I don't like them, and I just bully them and make videos about them nonstop. I talk about public interest cases. There's the difference. I talk about cases that are already high profile in the light and some that I make high profile myself, like the Jennifer Santinello and Layla Santinello situation, right? Me and Olivia, nobody would touch that case until Olivia and I got involved. And then what happened? All the bullies in the woodworks came out and started bullying this mother to end her relationship with me, bullying her, and basically told her if she didn't, they were going to ruin her. Oh, but that's okay, right? That's okay to do to a family that's dealing with a missing child. The anguish that you put on a parent because of your hate and vitriol for a creator that's doing nothing wrong just because you don't like them. But that's okay. I'm glad to see where your heart is. I think you need God. A little Jesus does a lot for a lot of people.
But
what people are confused about is their narrative is that they're just talking smack. Okay? That's what the problem is in this case. But that's not it. If they were just talking smack on their own channel, nobody would have a problem with it. It's not that. It's them reaching out to say Tony's job to try to get him fired. It's reaching out to in bulk, multiple people, hundreds of people, blowing up the phones at the sheriff's office, at the DA's office, to arrest somebody. And they ultimately arrested me to try to get their phones to shut off, is basically what happened. Unlawfully. But nobody wants to talk about that. And I can guarantee that is provable. How about trying to call in hundreds to this man's parole officer to have him thrown back in jail for years? That's what we're talking about. They may want to run the narrative, oh, we're just saying this. We have a right to our freedom of speech. No, they're not telling their audience what they are doing in bulk behind the scenes with their trusted associates. So you guys can argue all you want. You can try to say, play word salad and say, oh, it's this, oh, it's that, oh, it's this. They lied under oath to get that, Nisi. You know that. You think that's okay? You think it's okay missing a child and willing to lie under oath and lie to a judge. You think that that's okay because I didn't show up because they didn't properly serve me? So I should be on the hook because they failed to follow the proper procedures to have me brought into court and to submit me to the jurisdiction from Florida to Tennessee? Again, this is all part of that enterprise. And you're just proving my point, Nisi. It's all part of that enterprise. And I think that people need to wake up. This is not about people talking on their channel. We talk on our channel all the time. We don't want people shutting our commentary down. What we don't do is we don't attack people real life. We don't send SWATs to people's houses. We forgot about that, didn't we? There's so much here. There's so much here. And all of it's been properly cataloged. This is a cyberbullying syndicate that gets paid to bully people. And we need to realize what is really going on here. And I think Nick is doing a great job of explaining it.
But nevertheless, settlement, when we say settlement, that's what that entails. It means that you agree to stop what you are doing, and the court will issue an order with that settlement, making it a court-ordered agreement, making any more headspace for bullying not a thing. It's not just for the defendant.
Vicky, no, I think you're wrong about that. I defend myself from the attacks that I have underwent. I don't know if you've lived under a rock, but they've literally made websites about me when I've done nothing but cover a case because they don't like the fact that I bring people with me, that I record, that I'm on documentaries. They're so freaking jealous that they want to take me down because they could never be me. And that's something you're going to have to deal with. You don't like me? Why are you here? You're part of the problem, and you're exactly what we're trying to show the courts about what comes over from their channels and how you guys sit here and just can't let go and can't stay on your own channels and can't talk amongst yourself. You've got to come over here and attack people. Thank you, Governor Pincus. So you're only proving the points that we're making in court. Thank you so much for that, by the way. I appreciate it.
In this case, it's not just for the plaintiffs in this case. If these defendants go and start targeting other people, call us. If you've been a victim of any of these...
I want to tell everybody, even if you don't like me, you guys know who has been a victim of this. Who, when this syndicate doesn't like you, how real life they truly go. You guys have been on the other side of that and maybe have kept your mouth shut about it because you don't want to be part of it. Here's your opportunity to stand strong. Here's your opportunity to tell your story of what these people have done to you. Here's your opportunity to come forward and do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. I want you to listen to this. I'm going to back it up just a little bit.
It's not just for the defendants in this case. It's not just for the plaintiffs in this case. If these defendants go and start targeting other people, call us. If you've been a victim of any of these doxing individuals, call us. You can email doxing@night.agency.
Doxing at night.agency. Doxing at night.agency. Okay? If you... Well, I'd suggest you go get one, Nisi. You're probably part of the people that need one.
And we will obviously investigate your claims and streamline them to the attorneys. This is becoming a class action suit against a lot of individuals. There are many more plaintiffs that haven't been named yet. It's closer to 20, and these are also entities, organizations that are joining us to stop the bullying. It's National Cyberbullying Prevention Awareness Month.
And there's some animals in our chat right now that hasn't gotten the clue.
I got that backwards, but it has something to do with bullying awareness this month. Again, guys, if you see something, say something. Feel free to report people if they're doxing you to us now that we are getting, the engines are taking off. It's not too late to join in as a plaintiff. If you've been attacked, you have rights, right? There are laws, there are boundaries. They must respect those boundaries, or they'll be brought in and they can explain it to the judge. Again, guys, stay safe, stay vigilant. If you see something, say something, and good luck.
So there you have it. Nick the Hat. He's sounds like, in all fairness, they're kind of done with the shenanigans, you know? They're just, this is not just normal banter. Just like when I said that, you know, this has been going on for a while. It was well documented in the QB case. I think portions of that are going to be taken out for this Fed case. I'm not sure. Again, I haven't talked to the attorneys since the beginning. I gave them my information. I gave them access to my files, and I gave them my affidavit for what they needed for this section. There's going to be more affidavits and more information coming out about this. They are well documented and well connected together, linked together, and we have those linkages. So I just think that this is something where everybody's just telling people you can talk about the case, you can advocate for this child, but what you can't do is go real life and destroy people's lives, which is what they're being paid to do. And, you know, we've watched the payments come, right? We've watched those payments come in bulk in some of these YouTube content creators' chats and other things. So, you know, those are payments of some sort. What are those payments for? We don't know, right? Or maybe we do. I don't know. We'll leave it at that. Long story short, the whole topic of this conversation right here is about, you know, Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, which is being pushed on the back burner because of all this nonsense, and they just won't let it go. They want to seek and destroy. They want to ruin people's lives, and they want to throw their people that don't believe the way that they believe in jail. And that has been proven on 2 separate occasions. Me as well as Nick the Hat. People are saying you can't violate a no contact order with hashtags. And that's what they're trying to say I violated it with. If you look up Google, can hashtags contact anyone? You will see emphatically no, they cannot. I can talk to my audience. I'm not reaching out to people, and I'm not indirectly speaking to anybody by talking to my audience, unless they're over here in my audience, which they're telling people that they're not. So, you know, you can't have both. You can't have both. So this was all orchestrated by these hate channels and brought these people into it. And now we have the situation that we have. This is a very well-oiled machine and constructed very well. And the money is being shared amongst them. And follow the money, and that's what's happened. That's what broke this case wide open. So I would take this very, very, very seriously, and the people that have engaged in this know that they've engaged in this and know what their culpability is in this. And they can sit there and laugh, you know, like they don't know anything. Even that Yahoo that was on that guy's channel last night acting like a victim, acting like she's done nothing wrong. Okay. Well, we'll wait for the evidence to come out to see if that's true. A lot of people say, oh, they have to attach this. I don't know if people understand evidence, but those affidavits attached to that complaint are evidence. Just thought I'd put that out there. But now it's time to get back to what we've been wanting to advocate for. Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, and showing the oddities that are going on in this case. And we have the right to do that. We haven't been attacking people. We've been defending ourselves. As you guys have seen, these people have been attacking me while we just turn the other cheek each and every time. That was okay, right? We kept doing the best we could up until they had me thrown in jail. And after that, it's like, this is, now you got sheriff's office co-signing, judges co-signing, something's going on. It's time for action. And action is what needs to be had, because these people are very dangerous, and people need to take them as such. This is not normal YouTube banter or commentary, and it's designed to distract from Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. But here on the Bullhorn Betty channel, we're not going to allow that to happen. We're going to get right back to work. So let's keep getting back to work. Let's see what's going on here.
They're still communicating. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people are asking, you're saying that's low on your list. A theory is low on your list. What's high on your list of theories?
Honestly, the only 2 theories I have are Sebastian walked out of the house. And I don't mean, you know,
Mhm.
Like I said, I mean, I think there was an altercation. I think there's some information that hasn't been shared.
Good
If
morning,
that's the
Seth.
case, I don't think he just snuck out in the middle of the night to run away. It didn't seem very planned. And if that's the case, I do believe he is very close to home still.
Right.
Statistically, I mean, I think I talked to you about this before we went on.
Mhm.
Kaylana Turner, who was missing for over 400 days outside of Houston. I mean, they had massive searches. Texas EquiSearch came in several times. She was found on the same road she went missing from.
Isn't that amazing?
And that's what I'd like to bring back, you know, because this happens over and over again. We have dog searches, and look at Brian Laundrie. He was out there decomping, and no dogs could pick up his scent. Decomping in one spot, not moving since the day he walked away from his car, because later that, like within an hour, he was gone. You got Elijah Vu. Elijah Vu was in shrubbery and trees that had been searched multiple times by multiple different types of dogs. And she's bringing up another case that had been thoroughly searched, and lo and behold, we have the child right where the child went missing. Thank you, me and you. God bless you. We have to look at these things, because I keep saying this child's much closer than we think, and I truly believe that.
That road had been searched, right?
Yeah, and I mean, it's assumed that she was deceased pretty much that whole time, and there's no foul play involved. So, I mean, I understand, and I've gotten these comments, why are you still searching here? Why are you still in Hendersonville? He's not in Hendersonville.
Oh, this is for all the haters out there that say nobody's searched. They're running, because they're 7 months late in their searching. This area has been thoroughly searched by law enforcement, by private people, by Seth Rogers teams. He's got a much more reputable PI than this lady here, working on his team now. A very good PI, in my opinion. So I don't.
You do not know that.
Nobody knows that. Nobody knows where he is, or he wouldn't be missing.
No. And I mean, law enforcement has, obviously had massive searches, but things get missed.
Yeah. And in fact,
and I think we can all agree with that. Things get missed. We have a lot of cases that we can prove that from.
Stacy, tell us the story about the girl in England, because that's a great example of things getting missed.
So yes, in England there was a young girl named Tia Sharp, a young teenager who she was at staying at her grandma and her step grandpa's house. And so one day, the grandpa said that she had taken off to go down shopping to get some new shoes, some flip-flops. And then, grandma came home, Tia didn't come home, so they called and reported her missing. And there was absolutely no sightings of her at all. Nobody saw her anywhere. And so finally, the police, like I said, searched it many times, and they went back and did a forensic search eventually, and they found Tia wrapped up, stuffed up in the attic, what we'd call an attic.
Right.
And she was deceased.
And she'd been there the whole time, and they'd searched the house and searched the house. It's so frustrating. So that can happen. Melissa Hart wants to know, have they checked the drains at the construction site?
I mean, to my knowledge, they have.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Cheryl Reed wants to know, is it true that living room lights flickered and a neighbor saw a silhouette around 3 a.m.? Have you heard that?
I do not know. I know that...
Now, this would be one of the things, because this came directly from the neighbor, and it was corroborated by Miss Bobby in an interview. And here we have a PI that is supposed to be investigating this case that has no knowledge of this. Now, this was prior to it being corroborated by Miss Bobby, but you would think that PIs would have already sent their people out to talk to talk to the neighbors. I mean, I would have thought that they would be out there talking to the neighbors.
He's seen turning the lights on in his bedroom after he takes the trash out, and maybe once again, but I don't think it was 3 a.m. It was earlier in the night.
Yeah, it was earlier in the night. The last time it went off was at 11:30, and she should know that.
Getting a lot of questions in chat. What's your second theory? Yes, go.
Foul play. I mean,
of some sort.
Yeah.
Of some sort. Okay, let's see. We've kept you here an hour. We're not going to keep you much longer than 4 or 5 hours. So just
we can talk for a long time, but I'd probably end up getting in trouble. So
no, we understand. And again, we really appreciate you and Heather. Thank you, Heather, for coming to chat. We appreciate it. There are a lot of people commenting about what I'm thinking. And that is Chris Proudfoot seems to, in my opinion, control Katie. I don't know if you even want to comment on that, and maybe it's unfair for me to ask. Do you have any comments on how the Proudfoots have presented themselves?
From the information we've obtained since this interview, which was back, I can't remember the exact date. Hold on, let me just look at the date. It was from 5 months ago. It was on April 27th. This is coming on April 27th. Almost 2 months, 2 months and a day after this child disappeared.
I understand that. No, I don't really want to comment on it.
Okay,
honestly,
that's fine.
Only because I feel like we're maybe getting to a place that we can refocus finally again and lay
right. You don't want to comment,
down, and so I don't want to stir anything up.
Yeah, I understand.
The focus on finding Sebastian, and that's what's important. Yep.
Exactly. I'm just a trashy person. I go in.
No, you're good. I mean, you're good.
Tracy Witt wants to know: did the police check the roof of the school? I've got to assume they did. You know.
I mean,
I'd have to think with the helicopters and drones that any tops of buildings were checked and would have been easily to identify whether a child was up there. How he would have gotten up there, I have no earthly idea. But I think they have all been. I think we can deduct with the helicopters, the fixed wing aircraft, and the drones that the tops of buildings were thoroughly reviewed.
I would assume they did. You can see the roof of the school if you're in the parking lot. But,
right.
Yeah.
And I want to put this comment up here. It was really good if I can find it, about how everything just needs to be recanvassed. Everything. Here it is,
Yeah.
Daisy Rose. And don't you agree with this?
Yeah,
Chloe?
I mean,
Yes.
that's what
Yep.
we've been trying to do.
That's what,
Right.
she's been doing.
But it takes time because
That's untrue too, because she put herself in a position of checking the backgrounds of volunteers. Never heard of that before, not in any law enforcement search I've ever done, or they've asked for volunteers. Have they ever done a background check on the people? And that's law enforcement. Why is this Yahoo doing background checks when she's dealing with when half of her team are convicted felons is beyond me, but that's just my opinion.
law enforcement releases this massive search and they don't have to ask permission to go anywhere.
Right.
Exactly. I, as a private investigator, can still get trespassed. So I have to have consent to be on people's properties. Also, there's a lot of guns in Tennessee.
A lot of people
No,
with
I'm just not,
I know.
So it takes a little.
Oh, be careful. You might get arrested for saying that statement, because you can't say gun in Tennessee without being arrested or saying you're threatening somebody's life.
A little bit longer sometimes.
You've got to be careful.
Yeah.
I want to rephrase this question. Do you think Ellie is protecting somebody, and that's why they're not telling you information? I'm trying to figure out why they're not.
They are not silent
Mm-hmm.
with us.
Right.
They are telling us things.
But there's a lot they're not telling you that you would think they normally would.
Yeah, there's a lot they are telling us, though.
of course.
I don't think they're protecting.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good to know. Hold on. Did you ever get permission from the federal property that everyone was kicked off of the beginning? Did you ever get permission to go on that property? Do you know what they're talking
I
about?
was not on that property.
Okay. Do you want to go back there? Are you trying to go back there?
VA.
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. SP Mama, this is a great question. Do you know of any other, I just lost it, missing 401 cases in the area?
Oh man, missing in Sumner, in that county.
Yes, in that county. I would think this would be something that they would be well versed in.
Yes.
I mean, in Middle Tennessee, it's a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
We have a problem here. I'm not really sure what's going on, but I'm involved.
well, and Tennessee is Summer Wells. I mean, that's the state,
Hey,
but
it's me, Jen.
that's Summer Wells. Let's see. Justice Lovey says, whomever did this is very comfortable. He won't be found, but just to be safe, wouldn't the person maybe hide him nearby so they can continue to be relaxed? I'm sure you've thought of those types of
Thought of
theories.
everything. Yeah. No, I haven't thought of everything, or I would have found it. But trust me, I'm not tunnel visioned here.
No, we understand that. Let's see here. Hold on one second. I want to get some of these questions here that haven't been asked. Oh, this is a good one. Curious Cat. There were some threats. There's some crazy stuff happening. Did they ever find out who was behind them?
I don't know if that's actually true.
Okay.
Honestly, I've never been threatened.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. That's very good. Well, and plus
I can tell you I have, and it's been public. My audience has sent me the threats.
the drama people are gone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I heard about threats. I never got any proof of the threats. Sumner County even came out and said they had no
Really? No, that's interesting.
police reports from.
Oh, so as of April 25th, they're still on platforms stating that they're being threatened, and they're not? Is that my understanding here? I don't know.
certain organizations.
Really? Okay. Now that
They
is
came back and said it was Davidson County that they reported to, which doesn't make really any sense to me, but because I feel like the threats were probably in Sumner County. So I have not received any threats. I have not been followed. Many of my searchers have not been.
And this is pre stepdad threatening her live on TV. I think that's actually coming up.
threatened or followed.
so that could just be
I don't think Heather's been threatened or followed. I mean, people are nasty on the internet, but I don't consider that like a safety issue.
Oh,
that could
interesting.
be a bit of malarkey then.
A little bit of malarkey, yeah. I like that word.
Very interesting, because I heard somebody talking about it, and it was somebody that I thought was legitimately saying what happened to them. But if there's no police reports, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
mean, I honestly, I can't say with 100% certainty that people haven't been threatened. I have
Right.
not found any evidence of it, and haven't had time to focus on that. If you don't feel comfortable searching, don't.
Yeah. Now, has Seth ever said he's been followed before? Do you know?
He has.
Okay. And what about Chris's parents, Chris Proudfoot's parents? A lot of people are very kind of upset that they went to Alaska.
It's bizarre.
Have you or do you know if the police have looked into why they all of a sudden went to Alaska?
I don't know that police have looked into that. I know that tips have been passed on to
Mhm.
Sumner County and TBI. Not necessarily about them leaving,
Right.
but hopefully that is all being vetted in some way.
Hopefully it's being vetted. Usually PIs do the vetting themselves and also turn it over to law enforcement. But if they have a lead, they usually track that lead. It doesn't sound like any leads are being tracked by the PI that was originally on the case.
Somebody asked a question about, was it prescriptions? I missed it. And then somebody said, "Oh, that's a great question." I'm like, what was it?
I didn't see it.
It was, if somebody could repeat that, please, because I meant to catch it, and chat was going so fast.
Is it this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
To see if any prescriptions
I
for
don't know if
Sebastian.
you've checked to make sure prescriptions haven't been filled in other states. I would assume, since Sebastian is an Amber Alert, that pharmacies would be flagged.
Right.
Right.
In my
That's good to know.
Yeah.
That's good to know. Now, Donna D wants to know any news on the sexual offender that was searching, and could he have been moved from the pond? So two questions there. Was there a sexual offender searching? I hadn't heard that. Sex offender, I should say. I have not heard that. Okay. And do you think he could have been moved from the pond?
When?
That's true. People would have been watching and seeing. Now, we're going to put up your email address. In fact, what is your email? LPU9.org. And we'll report to the police. If you're more comfortable talking to Chloe or Heather, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, absolutely. So, contact them?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see here. Do you know if the cemetery was searched?
If they're referring to the one.
Thank you, Mockery Mania.
Yeah,
If you guys haven't
there's
seen
the tip line.
If you guys haven't seen Mockery Mania, Mockery has been putting together some funny clips. You should get over there and check that out. Thank you so much. But this is where it starts getting a little heated.
Okay. But let's go ahead and read some comments in chat. Are there any that you want to read, Insightful One?
No, I don't, Mystic
There is
Firefly.
one I thought we could answer, but now I'm trying to go back and find it.
Yes, the other private investigator is Heather Cohn, yes. And everybody, if you
Those
could read
two
some
have
comments
both
in
been
chat, I
fired.
need to go let my cat in, because, you know, the animals rule this house. So I'll be right back.
Right. You know, I know everybody, there's so much, you know, there are things we don't know and everybody wants to know, but what the integrity privy to was my fault. And I am to be respectful.
Happy comments, please, okay?
Right.
Be polite to our, who do we have here? I've put you on the platform.
You have me, Chris.
Hi, Chris Proudfoot.
Hello.
I really appreciate you coming here. I'm going to change the banner really quickly so everybody knows it's you. But I don't know how long you've been listening.
Long enough.
Okay, you sound angry. Talk to me.
Well,
What?
very.
Talk to me. We don't want to get you. The last thing we want to do, Chris, is cause problems between you and Seth. I swear to God.
Well,
So
I understand that, but let me help you with something.
Okay.
Okay, a lot of the information that I've been listening to on your show, coming from Chloe, the questions that are coming through people, it's very sickening and disgusting, to be personally honest with you.
Okay. Let's talk about it.
So let me go ahead and address a few things to help y'all out.
Okay.
Chloe, you're the PI. I haven't had a chance to talk to you. You haven't even called me. You ain't done anything, first off.
Heather has
Heather
been.
is the only one. Heather is the only one who has reached out to me or to my wife.
I
So for you to
actually
sit on
reached
this
out to
show
you
and sit here
month
and
or
give
so ago.
information that you
Because-
have, that you don't have all the answers to, is a problem.
Okay. Well, Chris, help us understand, because I know Chloe, and Chloe wants to help. And the last thing Chloe would do is want to put out misinformation. And the problem
okay,
is,
I understand that. So let me just smash something real quick.
okay,
Okay, first and foremost, anything that goes on between me and my wife is not a damn bit of anybody's personal business. I don't care what you think. I don't care what y'all got to say. That'd be like me splashing all your business out to the world.
okay,
It does not matter what goes on in my house. We're looking for my son.
And those things that, in my opinion, those things like household, what goes on behind closed doors, when you have a child that is missing and has been missing at this point for over 2 months, yeah, some of those things become questionable. You know, what was going on inside the home? Let's take their statements of walking out of the home. What would make, if a autistic child was living in a well-functioning home and has never run away, why would they feel the need to run away from a home that they deem as safe in their sanctuary, so to speak? You know, that would imply there's some things going on behind, you know, those doors, and yes, that would probably make people want to pry a little more about what was going on behind those closed doors to make a non-eloper run away from home. Just throwing that out there.
That's real simple.
Your stepson, right?
It doesn't matter. Stepson, my son, all the kids are treated as if they're your own. There is no.
That's a little scary because we know how this person treats kids. We've heard there's been multiple reports to this home by CPS themselves, and that's a little problematic for the world.
Title a stepson, a son. It does not matter. That boy is loved by me just like he is my own. Just like he's my own.
Okay, Chris, may I ask you something?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I've been doing this for a long time, and let me tell you why people are asking personal questions.
So you're using, TNEC, you're using your opinion to tatter around. Wouldn't you agree, if you've been in true crime, if a woman, say your daughter, just disappeared from her home with her boyfriend or her husband, and she left her shoes, all of her belongings, including her keys and cell phone and car, behind, and just got up in the middle of the night when she's never done that before and just disappeared, and you never hear from her again, TNEC? What would your first opinion be? What would your first opinion be? I'm asking you, if it's your daughter or somebody you love, what would your opinion be? Do you think she ran away from you? Would you think she ran away from her kids? Interesting.
Questions about you and your wife, okay? It's because of the situation in which Sebastian has gone missing, and they're wondering if whatever happened between you and your wife, does it have something to do with Sebastian going missing? I swear to you, it's not to be nosy. It's not to be rude. It's just trying to figure out what happened to Sebastian. And
okay, so let me make this even crystal clear for you.
Okay.
And everybody out there that's got all these negativity, disgusting comments and questions that y'all think you know anything about, when honestly you don't know a damn thing. And that's
I feel
the
sorry
problem.
for you, Nisi.
You assume, you speculate, all this crap.
So you know better, and you're still fighting. You know better. Sad. This is the delusion of hate that I'm talking about.
You have no idea what me, my family, my wife, everybody involved is going through. To include.
Why is nobody caring about what Sebastian is going through every time this man gets on a platform and talks? It's always about him and his wife. When is what Sebastian going through going to take top priority in these people's lives? I'm just very curious about that. Because it seems like they're more involved in their own personal, how they feel. They don't even care. That's what upsets the people that are following this case, is the lack of them caring for a missing boy that can't take care of himself. And these grown-ass people that are, with military that can take care of themselves are scared of the big bad people out here asking questions. It just seems odd. It seems like a red flag to me, honestly.
Seth, his mom, and everybody else.
Okay.
Because it's the vile, disgusting crap that comes out of people's mouth. Yes, I'm a very pissed off stepfather to this whole situation.
Okay. And I understand, and I hear what you're saying. But again,
So let me help y'all with something. 'Cause
Okay.
Y'all said some shit that's really, it's really none of your damn business. But since you brought it up on the clearing,
Hey Nisi, aren't you part of QB's clan? Are you part of QB's clan? Are you in her Discord? Are you in her chat? Are you a member of her channel over here? I just want to make sure that that's if that's true. Can you say yes or no? I'd like to know.
okay.
my parents didn't go to Alaska 2 days after we went missing.
I don't think
When my
anybody said
parents went
that.
to Alaska was because my stepfather went for work.
Okay, nobody said they went 2 days after he went missing.
Oh no,
They
it's
said-
out there. Trust me, because I have
Okay, I
terabytes.
did not say that.
Nobody
didn't say
said that
you.
here.
I
Okay,
said people.
okay.
Now I have terabytes of videos of Seth on here saying some foul stuff. I've got videos of everybody and their comments out here.
But
Trust
let's,
me. What I'm bringing to you is not that I'm just pulling stuff out of the air.
I understand. No, and Chris, I'm glad you cleared that up. That's a
So,
good.
by the way, they didn't.
I wonder when we're going to get back to talking about Sebastian Waindrake Rogers and how people can help find Sebastian Waindrake Rogers.
Go for a month.
Okay.
They went for 2 weeks. My stepdad went on business. My mom went with him. But it's really nobody's business.
Well, but Chris, let me, and please understand. I swear to God, I'm coming from a place of understanding because I've been doing this for years. Okay. Here's the thing. When you ask the public for help, they're going to look at everything and try and figure out what happened to Sebastian. And let me from an outsider looking in, it's okay. His parents left town shortly after. Was there a reason? Did they take Sebastian with him? It is speculation that I am sorry it's hurtful to you, and I understand it. And that's why it's important that you clear it up. Just clear it up. Nobody's trying to be hurtful or mean. I promise you, we've all been asked to help find Sebastian. And this is what we do. We try and think outside the box.
And this person is redirecting it back to them and what they're feeling and how they're being treated, not giving one iota or one care or one thought in the mind of a missing 15-year-old medically needy boy that's never survived without his family.
We try and ask questions and think outside the box and figure out what has gone on.
But
It is
your
not
problem
meant.
with thinking outside of the box
Mhm.
does nothing but cause speculation. It causes people to call in tips that don't mean anything, that you're taking sources away from the...
We always promote calling in tips. If you think you have some information, please call that stuff in. Don't be intimidated to call it in because you might be wrong, because the more the tips, you never know what nugget of information law enforcement is lacking. So we are going to still continue to ask people if they have any information directly related to the disappearance of Sebastian Waindrake Rogers. Do not keep that to yourself. There's a $125,000 reward right now for any information that leads to his whereabouts or those responsible for his disappearance.
investigation, because Joe Schmo down the street thinks that my family owns a cemetery. We own a funeral home. Like, where in the hell do you get up with this stuff? And not you. I'm saying...
There is a first cousin to his mom that is a director or something like that. We do have screenshots of the person from this I guess funeral home that posted about Sebastian, identifying his mom as their first cousin. So that's probably, in my opinion, where that came from. I denounced that being a possibility, but again, if that's the question, is, you know, for my audience, is where did that information come from? That's probably, in my opinion, where that information originally came from.
in the public.
And so that, Chris, that's why it is great that you're here, because we want to clear this up and help you get it out. And I'm going to tell you something, Chris, when it comes to the general public, they're always going to be calling in crazy tips and doing crappy things. And all we can do is say, that's not us. We are not doing that. But
It doesn't
And
matter,
I
though.
did want to clear
That
it
does
up.
not
Chris.
matter.
I
Doesn't
did want
matter
to clear
one
it up,
iota.
Chris.
Chris?
I did reach out to you on March 17th, publicly and privately. You responded to me publicly. You asked me to ask my question publicly. I did. You didn't respond. I reached out to you privately again. So I have reached out to you.
Where in the public? Where?
I reached out to you on Facebook. I reached out to you on Facebook Messenger privately. You've never read my message.
Well, don't take this the wrong way, but a lot of the bullshit that I get in Facebook.
No, that's fine. That's
I'm
fine.
not-
I just want to make it
Yeah.
clear
Can I explain to you?
yeah.
You send me messages along with thousands of other people.
I understand that. And that's why I took it public. And you did respond to me and asked me to ask my question publicly because you wanted whatever answer you were going to give to be public to clear it up.
What was the question that you asked me? Since I neglected your question.
And that's not what
was
I'm
your
saying.
question?
That's not what I'm saying. I want to make it clear that I haven't not tried to reach out to you.
And Chris, I know you're mad. God, I can feel it, I can hear it, and I understand it. You've got to believe me when I tell you this. Please, if you can dial it back a bit and get us some of these answers and let us help you clear up this bull so it doesn't interfere anymore. And like I said, you're always going to have crazy people interfering and coming up with rumors, and it's so maddening and frustrating, and I hate it. It pisses me off more than anything, and anybody that knows me knows
It
that.
pisses you off? You're not in our shoes.
I know.
I wonder when he's going to get back to Sebastian Rogers and advocating for his stepson and asking people to continue to post flyers or what they can do to help. It seems like it's just all about his feelings and how he's being treated. And we have a 15-year-old child that's medically needy out there in the world that has no food, water, or clothing, or even shoes on the bottoms of his feet. But let's take more time about this feeling.
I've been in our shoes.
Okay, well, you don't know that, but I haven't been in your shoes and missing a child, no. But believe me, I can understand what you're going through, and what I'm saying is we can help you, Chris. We can help you, all right? Anybody here in this chat that asked about a cemetery, it's because somebody else brought it up. Just tell us.
Exactly. And my question comes back to, where do these people come up with this crazy?
Why, and again, why won't he answer the question? He will spend 20 minutes arguing. If there's no big deal here and this is foolish, then just state it's foolish and here's why.
crap?
That's the $1 million question. I don't know.
Yeah, online.
Let's clear it up. Let's clear it up for you. Let us help you.
You're saying, I believe, Chloe, you're saying online. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm sorry, I said that. There's a lot
That's
of
Stacy. Yeah.
crazy people online, and just to let you know, I understand you get a lot of messages. I reached out to you when Sebastian first went missing too, to see if we could help in any way. Oh.
Yeah, but Chris, I understand your anger, but I'm telling you.
Yes, Maggie, she has. That's another interview that we'll show. It was on Reels. I think it was on Facebook or Twitter or something like that. It wasn't a YouTube, from my understanding. It might have been a YouTube. We'll see.
Please let us help you, okay? We're not here to point fingers at you or whatever, but the problem is, and this is what we were talking about earlier, Chris, when the public is asked to help and then no information is provided, then people, because of social media, and social media is here to stay, unfortunately, this never used to be a problem, never, until social media, and it's terrible. I will be the first one to admit it's terrible. But let us help you clear it up, okay? So
I don't blame social media. I blame mainstream media, quite frankly. Not all mainstream media, but most mainstream media that likes to hide the truth from the public because they're controlled by the board of directors and law enforcement and politicians.
you don't own a cemetery and you don't own a funeral home, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Okay, everybody, stop with that bullshit. All right.
Here, let me add this to the thing. We don't own a private plane. We don't own 78 pieces of property.
Mhm.
We don't own a private yacht. What else do you guys want to come up saying that we own? Like
I don't think they're referring to them owning it. Just to clarify, I think the public is referring to their family, their close-knit family. They have access to these things. I think that's what the public was referring to. I'm unsure. I wasn't the one that made these allegations, nor did I really review these allegations about the private plane and stuff like that. But other people have been talking about it, but we do know about rumors, and we don't really engage in rumors too much unless they can be corroborated. Will we address them? Yes, we will address them, and we will try to fact find them. If we can't fact find them, then they remain rumors as opposed to corroborated information. The information that can be corroborated, that means more than two people or more have stated the same exact thing, and that's the corroboration.
millionaires or something, like we've got this money growing off trees, which, by the way, it'd be great if we did, because I guarantee we wouldn't need anybody's help because he'd have been home by now.
Right. No, I understand. No, I completely understand.
So what he was referring to there, in my opinion, is that if they had money, they could hire the best of the best to come in. That doesn't mean law enforcement. That means third parties. So I don't know if that was a dig at law enforcement or if, what that was, but we have an opportunity to have somebody like Dog the Bounty Hunter, a well-known worldwide bounty hunter that has found over 10,000 people. 10,000 people. Are you done looking at yourself in the mirror? Okay.
Okay. But understand, when the public is asked to help with social media, this is what social media does. And it can be your
Worst nightmare.
or your best friend.
Yes.
And let us help it. And I can give you examples. I can have you talk to people that have said, yes, the people at Web Sleuths, they've helped us. They've been great. Okay.
Yes.
But hey guys, I understand why Chris is angry, because it's coming 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Horrible crap about him. Okay. And his family.
I wonder when we're going to get back to advocating for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers.
Get the anger. So we're going to help you. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to let my cat out before she drives everybody crazy.
Tulips,
So I
Rosebud,
apologize.
Petri Psychic.
So hang on. Chloe, is there anything you'd like to say while I let my cat out before she drives me nuts?
I will ask the question. I'll actually read you the message I sent you. This was March 17th. Good afternoon, Chris. I wrote this in a chat you're involved with, but I'm worried it may be lost because there's so much chatter. First, let me say I'm a Tennessee private investigator and have been praying and actively bringing awareness to Sebastian from day one. His case is near and dear to my heart. I had a question. I know Sebastian went to his dad's every other weekend or so. Did you come home on those weekends? Not a specific date, but just in general. Or did Katie come and stay with you? Are you often gone during the week? Just curious about Sebastian's day-to-day dynamic with his parents. And then I messaged you again after I posted that question publicly. You asked me to post it publicly, and I did, and then I wasn't answered. And I said, hey, Chris, just messaging again. So it'll be at the top. I know you said you get a ton of messages.
So, and again, we understand that you get a ton of messages. We absolutely understand that. Is there somebody else in our chat room? I can't see it.
Heather.
Heather, do you want to come up? I guess she does.
I'm here.
Oh, she is? Okay. Oh, hi, Heather. I didn't see you there.
Hi.
Okay.
There was a lot of talk. I didn't really have a chance to say hello.
And this Heather is the other private investigator.
Yeah, I know who Heather is.
Okay. Heather, would you like to say anything?
Well, so I spoke with them earlier today, and obviously, as you know, Mr. Proudfoot did message me and ask for a number so he could come in, and I think that it is past due. I think that it's a good thing for Mr. Proudfoot to address some of the allegations that are being made I would like to have the opportunity, like I said to him earlier today, it's good for us, Chloe and I, to have access to them, to be able to, when we get this information, instead of having to go around them to other sources to try to get the answers to those questions, to actually be able to come to him for those answers and try to clear them up directly. So I'm glad he's here. I really am. Even though he's
I am too. I'm thrilled. I'm absolutely thrilled.
I'm glad he's here, and I've spoken to him before, and he's been very upset with me before.
Hey, Karen,
but once
nice
he
to
calms
see you, my
down,
love.
I think maybe we can get somewhere. Maybe we can get somewhere.
Yeah. Okay, so let's address something real quick with your
Okay.
viewers who say I'm drunk and belligerent. No, I'm just a pissed off dad. So let's get that real clear.
Hey, everybody, mods.
So if you want to keep your comments and that's how your audience wants to play.
I wonder when these people are going to start focusing back on Sebastian Rogers and how we're going to be able to find and locate this young man.
Play this game.
No.
Then no, I'm not going to clear up anything or turn the chat off. If you want to clear this up, let's get it right. And let's take all the stupid people out of this equation and answer the deals.
Okay, Chris, hang on. Mods, if anybody says anything rude about any of our guests, I want you to ban them.
That does bring up something like Mama Bear says. She says the stepfather is reacting like they're accusations for reasons rather than just answering the questions calmly. His rage over questioning his parents is giving the truth away. That's what Mama Bear believes. And, there is a reason because, in all fairness, Seth is attacked consistently and constantly, and yet he's on panel after panel talking about his son. He's not. Does he get upset with some of the comments made? Of course he does. He's a dad of a missing child that he thought was doing well in the care of his ex, and then he finds out there's multiple CPS reports that he wasn't a privy to, and his son is missing. And missing without shoes, and allegedly walked out the door without those very shoes that he believes his son would religiously put on his feet if he knew he was leaving the home to go out. So I think there's a difference in dynamic between the parents, and it makes us question why such the hostility. We see Seth, he loses his cool once in a while when he just can't handle it, but he maintains speaking about Sebastian. Sebastian falls out of his mouth religiously over and over again throughout the conversation. And then boom, we have this situation where it's all about what this other side's feeling, how they're feeling. Do you not think Seth is feeling a lot of the same feelings? But he keeps putting one foot in front of the other to advocate for his son and to put that BS to the side for the benefit of his son. And it seems like this person here is very frustrated, angry, and wants people to ask the questions, but doesn't really want to answer the questions, just wants to condemn the people having the questions. That's just my opinion.
Come out, okay?
It's like this. If you ain't got nothing factual about me to say, keep your mouth shut.
Well, okay, but Chris, they don't know if it's factual.
Exactly. Okay. So that's the best recommendation I can give them.
The only way we do find out whether things are factual is to fact find the statements.
Well, but they want to ask questions, and let me tell you why.
Questions are one thing, not a statement where I'm belligerent and I'm drunk, because guess what, folks? I could read the comments that you post.
I know, and I'm telling everybody, if anybody says anything rude, they're booted from chat. Mods, if you could boot them. Stacy, could you get Ping over here?
Yes, boot them, because it's not about a 15-year-old child. Just let's keep all this into consideration, the reason why these people are being booted.
Help us. Anybody?
And the other part of this is if it's nothing in regards to Sebastian, I really don't give a shit, people.
No, and I agree.
Great. 40 minutes in, we hear his name.
Chris, and I mean, I don't know if you heard, I didn't want to discuss.
Oh, I asked a lot of questions and she wouldn't discuss it. Absolutely.
I think it's.
Good morning, Stephanie.
Semantics at this point. He's been missing for 2 months, and I I don't know how his bathroom habits are going to help me find him.
Exactly. Mind you that children with autism do have bladder and bowel movement issues to control themselves, but
Absolutely.
I'm not really worried that people can't read and do their own.
Well, but Chris, let me
stuff.
tell you.
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and care about that either.
Let me tell you why that was brought up. Okay, it's because of what Seth said. Seth.
All right, give me just a second. Sorry, guys.
Said at his house he didn't.
Yes, you are correct. No, you are correct. You just hit the nail on the head.
Mm-hmm.
You just hit the nail on the head. Seth has opened his mouth. He has said a lot of things he probably shouldn't. And he needs to learn how to close it because, quite honestly, none of that has anything to do with finding Sebastian.
Right. And you know what? But Chris, let's keep it that way because Seth has said he is not going to do that anymore, and he hasn't.
Bullshit. Let me explain to you why. That Sunday when I went to that vigil and spoke to Seth, very calmly, very respectfully, we were having a good conversation. While everybody stood behind me and would snap them little pictures and stuff, Heather came up in the conversation. She saw us. It was not an aggressive conversation. It was actually a good one.
Mm-hmm.
But see, it wasn't 3 hours later. Seth was on YouTube on somebody else's show, sitting there. He's blaming Katie, my wife, for Sebastian's disappearance. Mm-hmm. Now, unless you got cold hard facts, which you don't.
Unless you've got cold hard facts. Unless you got cold hard facts. No denial. Just you're lacking facts and evidence. Let's listen to that again.
Seth was on YouTube on somebody else's show, sitting there. He's blaming Katie, my wife, for Sebastian's disappearance. Mm-hmm. Now, unless you got cold hard facts, which you don't open your mouth. Because all you're doing is making an ass out of yourself because you're assuming.
Say that everybody is grieving and handling this situation differently. I won't comment on if I agree with any of the ways that people are acting at this point. I do think, in the last week, we've been trying to build a bridge. And I know it's difficult and it's not going to be just clean and perfect. But I think if we can all just refocus and try to not focus on the other things people have done that make you angry.
So here, let me explain to y'all something that y'all don't get a chance to see. Because unfortunately,
I wonder if this is going to be about Sebastian.
We're meeting on a very bad circumstance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but Seth can contest to this. So Seth comes to Tennessee. He gets his job in the security force. He wants to be law enforcement. He has had a dream of being law enforcement since I have known him.
How long have you known this man, Seth?
Okay.
There was a chance for something that came up, and I called him and said, look, I think you should apply for this. I think you'd be great at it, which is the job he currently has.
Okay.
Now, he gets accepted. He's excited. He calls me and says, thank you, man. I really appreciate you helping me that. I have been a supporter and a cheerleader for him this whole time. Okay. But y'all don't get to see that. And Seth's not going to tell you that. During the middle of the training, Seth decided one day he wants to call me, tell me he doesn't think he's going to complete it. But I told him, I said, look, you're going to sit there and you're going to go back in there and you're going to complete this training because your son thinks you hang the moon and the sun. So you need to go in there and...
Wow, pretty. Let's listen to that. What does Sebastian think? Let's listen.
He doesn't think he's going to complete it. But I told him, I said, look, you're going to sit there and you're going to go back in there and you're going to complete this training because your son thinks you hang the moon and the sun.
Huh. That doesn't sound like an abusive father to me. Just thought I'd throw that out there. Sebastian thinks his father is Superman. That's not what you typically get from a child that has a wildly abusive father.
So you need to go in there and prove to your son that dreams and goals can be met.
Mm-hmm.
I have been very, very supportive of him trying to do these things. I have told him on Sunday, I supported him then, I would support him now. But I will not stand by and watch somebody be straight up disrespectful and accuse people and say things that have absolutely no bearing. Absolutely nothing.
Okay, well, again, I just, if I could just
Yeah,
step in.
I mean, Chris, I would love for us to refocus and talk about not necessarily the investigation that we can't talk about, but what has been done, what you understand about dog tracks, what you understand about the circumstances. We could go on and on all night, and I know.
Finally, we're getting back to some actual stuff that might help locate the whereabouts of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers.
So,
and we are 1 hour and 34 minutes into this.
We have a lot of really big feelings that are valid. But I think Heather would agree. We would just really love to redirect this back to Sebastian, because the anger doesn't solve anything.
It's not truly all anger, it's discipline.
No, and I'm not saying that. And I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying, at this point, it's just
not helping find Sebastian.
Yeah, and it's like an energy vampire,
Right.
and we're all tired. And I can't imagine how tired you are. I know how tired I am. So I would love to redirect back to what you know and what you think.
And then I have some questions that I hope you can answer that will help clear things up.
I'll answer questions unless it's something I have been told by law enforcement that I cannot answer. I've said that from day one, and I'm telling you now,
We've learned that some of this is not true because, according to Dog's team, they found out that he was not advised by TBI not to take the polygraph. So it questions all these statements that are being made related to what TBI told him he can talk about and what TBI told him he could not talk about. So I just wanted to make sure that was clarified as well.
has not changed. So ask your questions.
Did you pass the polygraph?
Yes, I sure did, with flying colors.
And it was TBI that gave it to you?
Yes, TBI gave it to me along with another agency.
Okay.
No,
Very
that
good.
was kept quiet because it's nobody. We kept it all quiet.
Well, no, I think it's great that you're telling us now.
Did we ever determine whether that statement is true or not? I'm not sure, because I know we were looking into it early on, and then we had the Nancy Grace show, and the Nancy Grace show, ooh, I'm sorry, I'm watching something, a road raging incident. A long story short, do we, we're having conflicting statements because on Nancy Grace, which was done around March, I got to look at my spreadsheet, around March or something like that. And then we have this, and I can't remember in conjunction with this, maybe somewhere along the lines, a polygraph was taken, because we know by Nancy Grace there was none, and he was supposed to set it up with Nancy Grace and decided not to. So I'm just curious about that. I don't know if that was ever established, whether he really did take it, but he's saying here on April 27th that 2 were conducted by 2 separate agencies.
Right, and Seth knew about it the day on that Tuesday when I took it, passed it. They called and told him that I passed it.
And okay, well, maybe he was told he couldn't say anything.
No, he was told he could say something. They told him so he would try to keep his rhetoric down. That's why they told him. And I have the text message where they asked me if they could tell him. And I said, I have listened to y'all from the beginning. I'm listening to you now. So please do what you feel is best.
Okay. So you passed the polygraph with flying colors. Let me ask you this. People in chat are asking, did you tear down any posters of Sebastian, you or anyone you know?
That is a straight up no. And I can't believe people would think I would tear down flyers or posters of my missing stepson.
Okay.
I just wanted everybody to hear the statement about the flyers and the posters. I'm not going to comment on it, just letting you guys hear the statement.
Which,
Again.
you know, another thing
And
which
I
is
will-
kind of funny that you bring this up, because some people, and yes, they are pertinent to the investigation, have said that there's a video floating around of me tearing these things down.
Mm-hmm.
If you got it, post it. Because
Oh, I
if
agree.
you ain't got it,
I do agree with that. If you got it, post it. All right, guys, if you got it, post it. Right from the mouths of babes.
shut up.
And I mean, I'll say on record from myself, I have never seen that.
And I
Exactly.
also want to
Because
say,
it doesn't exist.
I'm sure it doesn't.
and I want to say on record that in my conversation earlier with Chris and Katie, Katie said she had one request of me, and that was that when I do these interviews, that I, at some point in the interview, remind people to hand out the flyers and put them up everywhere.
Please, all we're begging. I don't know how to beg you even more. I don't know what it's going to take for America, the world, whoever to understand. We are begging you to hang posters, talk to whomever, spread the words, keep your eyes open.
Wow.
And when you find something, don't wait 2 weeks to make a report. Because let me tell you something, that's what's been going on.
Or like a month before you file something filled with lies for doing these exact instructions. Got it. Got it.
Some of the leads that are coming in are 2 and 3 weeks old.
Why do you
Instead
think
of when
that
you
is?
see something, you pick up the phone immediately
Right.
and you call the cops.
Just remember the morning of February 26th, Sebastian Rogers was not found in his bed at 6 a.m. But the call to law enforcement to report that child not being in his bed and missing came in at 6:33, some 30 minutes later. Not really right away, but not 2 weeks later. I mean, I guess that's a plus.
Yeah.
Don't call your best friend and
Right.
say, hey, I think I've seen this kid. Don't call these investigators. No offense, Chloe and Heather. You don't call them first. You don't call Seth. You don't call anybody but law enforcement only, and make your report
And
immediately.
I will say, you know, we've received tips that maybe haven't been called into law enforcement, but we call them in. And we also received tips that have been called into law enforcement, but the person that called the tip in didn't get any feedback when they were told they were going to be called back. And so they were worried that maybe it didn't get looked into enough. So I don't
So
want you to think
for
we're
the
not
for the record,
passing
right?
tips
So
to law
for the record, I think what folks need to understand, because no, y'all don't have all the information that Katie and I, and some of the information that Seth has. You don't. And I understand that. And I'm sorry that we can't give you every single thing under the sun. I wished we truly could. But unfortunately we can't.
Right.
But when you do make a report and you give them a name and a number, you tell them the location, you tell them a very detailed description and everything, you don't expect to get a call back from law enforcement, period. Don't.
Mhm.
Because I'm sorry, but they don't have the time to stop and answer every single call back when they're looking for missing children. Not just ours, but there's so many children out there that are missing.
Right.
So
Does anybody know of any missing children currently right now in Sumner County, other than Sebastian Rogers? If you do, would you mind sending me those cases over to bullhornbetty@gmail.com, bullhornbetty@gmail.com? I'd like to see all the cases of the missing people in this community and just see where they are, or if you've known of any in the past, I'd like to see those as well.
I'm sorry that some of y'all feel that you deserve an answer, but it's not. And I'm sorry, it's just going to sound rude when I say this, but you don't deserve an answer. You'll get the answer when we get the answer. The family gets the answer on a missing boy. Not strangers. They're not calling y'all to tell you.
Chris, this is what I have to tell when I talk to law enforcement, and it's difficult to accept, and I still have trouble with it too. This is the way it is. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. But again, when you ask the public for help, people are going to start looking, and they look at the last place that Sebastian was known to be. And then it just goes from there. And I'm sorry, it shouldn't, but that's how it does. And we can clear a lot up tonight. And I'm so
let's
glad.
do this.
Okay, BW says, Chris, are you frustrated with law enforcement, or do you feel like you're getting adequate information from them?
I'm not upset with law enforcement. I'm going to tell you right now, the agencies that are involved have thrown every asset that they have at this. What people don't understand, this has actually probably been one of the largest searches for a missing child in Sumner County history, period, and probably in the state, with a number of assets. Do I think they're doing everything they can? You bet your sweet tail I am. You can bet on it. I don't think, just short of making everybody in this United States go hand in hand, start on one side of the country and sweep through hand in hand, that's probably about, I don't know what else to tell you. I'm very happy with what they've done. I know there are some other folks that don't feel that way, and I'm sorry because they are not in the know. But you do have to remember one thing. They're not going to expend every single asset, every single minute of the day on one child.
Of course.
You have to keep in mind how many children are missing, and it has to be equally dissolved among everybody. And I'm not going to lie to you. It hurt. It hurt the day that they came in on day 8 and told us that they have to pull back. It ain't nothing. There was more of a gut punch to take than being told that.
I can imagine. Because you're not expecting them to say that.
I will tell you that I have never in my life, and I'm telling you this is the first case I've ever came across where a child of missing parents are okay with the investigation when it's turned up no evidence, or their son. I've never heard any parent being okay with that. They've all, even at times, Jen was, wondering what more could be done and getting frustrated with law enforcement, and had to do her own work to find out what was going on in her own daughter's case. I've never heard of any parent, well, except one. I think Don Wells was one of the first people that implied the same thing about, they're happy with the investigation, and it just didn't work out for them, and he understands they need to go to other cases, and it's okay. So I have heard it in part, but not quite couched this way. But I always get a weird, funny feeling when parents of missing children are okay with the lack of production on their case. It's just, it's concerning, because even when law enforcement is doing everything right, and I've seen it myself, there's nothing more law enforcement can truly do, and they've done everything, by the book and everything like that. And the parents are still very frustrated with law enforcement and about their lack of information and details in their child's case. So this, I've only seen this a number of times where they're okay. I've never seen it couched quite like this, but it's very few and far between. And the people that I have heard it from don't really ring on the high morality compass.
You're not expecting them to say, yeah, we're going to pull back and put less.
I do expect that, but here's the thing. I'm also a realistic person. I would love for them to expend every aspect and every asset and every single second of the day finding Sebastian. That's not realistic.
Yeah,
It's
I
not.
understand. I want to read you a comment, and I like this comment from Brittany Cole. It says, sometimes you have to block out the noise, Chris. The public
Well, Angela, you give me a lot of credit and a lot of power that I don't possess.
will do what they do, and that's the truth. A lot of us are just trying to offer help. It's the bad ones that you remember, and not all the much bigger crowd of good people who are not doing this.
And I mean, weeks ago, somebody asked me what I thought, and I had some information from court documents that could have been a lot of quote unquote tea for the internet to have, and I refused to release it because
Court documents on. Let me ask you this: on who? Me, Seth, Katie. Okay.
I refused to release it because, number one, I didn't think it would help find Sebastian. Number two, it was a deeply personal thing. And also,
when she was young.
Yes.
Okay, so let me
finish, and I referred to the Michael Vaughn case, where his parents got completely slaughtered.
Yes, they did.
By the public for a very long time. And they didn't do anything to that boy. I do not believe.
They didn't.
Now they have proof. But they just got.
And they got annihilated. I was there. I went out there to talk to the mom because I didn't want to engage in that. And it was all untrue. Brandy and her husband had nothing to do with the disappearance of their child. And we backed Brandy 100% on those statements because we went out there, boots on the ground. We talked to neighbors and people that didn't even know them, described the franticness of the mom when she came home looking for her son. And I can't imagine what Brandy was going through those initial minutes when she couldn't find him. It must have been horrific. And you know what she did? She made it all about her son. She didn't make it about what she was going through or how bad things have gotten for her. It was 100% about Michael Monkey Vaughn. And if that's anything you guys take away from this, that's what I'd like to say. That woman was crucified on social media. We did not partake in that crucifixion. And I got to tell you, she always kept it about her son. Every single one of her videos with picture in hand. She never talked about what she was going through personally, how bad it was getting for her personally. She kept it about her son, which is one thing we don't see in this.
Slaughtered. And if people can say without a shadow of a doubt that they just know what somebody did, and they don't. Well, if you know, take it to the police and let's solve this.
Yeah. Tell all the Sherlock
I want to remind everybody that our batting average on this channel is very high.
Holmes and Watsons out there, since they have their PhDs in criminal justice and forensics and all this, since they've got it, by all means, we welcome you to the case. We welcome you to come in here and show us.
Sorry, didn't mean to laugh.
And show
out loud.
these law enforcement officers that have so many years of experience that they don't know anything. We'd love you.
Well, we definitely know they have not located and arrested 10,000 fugitives. We definitely know that. And the one person that has, they are absolutely adamant about keeping out of this case, which is really bizarre for me.
You to do it.
Chris, this isn't helping.
I know it's not helping, but
let's
goes back
get the
to
public
what's
on
being
your
asked.
side. Let's get people on your side, and then we can all work together. Because I know
that's just the thing. This isn't about sides. This is not about sides.
Exactly, and that's
What
we're
is
trying
about
to do.
Sebastian.
it is.
Yet we have 1 hour and 45 minutes about, let's see if we can turn this down here. 1 hour and 45 minutes about feelings, about how people are being treated. Where's Sebastian and all of that? I'd like to know.
But if we're not,
I'm Team Sebastian. You know, I was brought in to do one thing.
Same.
Okay, guys, let me just say, coming from the other side, you want the public's help. You need the public's help. Let's not insult the public. There are asses out there. And believe me, we fight against them all the time, don't we, Stacy? Constantly. These jerks out there that pull all this crap just to get clicks. You know, we don't have advertising.
I can tell you my work is not crap and it's not for clicks. I could care less whether people watch or not. We use these platforms to support the missions, the cases, the investigative reporting. And we go boots on the ground and collect information that is pertinent to these cases. It is displayed across the Leilani Simon case. Everything we said happened to that boy is coming out in court. Everything that we were told you guys, the audience, were told were lies, that I was only doing it for clicks and views, making up these wild allegations about what happened to that young boy. And we're finding out that Bullhorn Betty had it 100% accurate and correct. Kind of funny that happens. Maybe that's why they're shutting me or attempting to shut me down. They're not trying to shut other people down. The crackpots out there on YouTube. They're trying to shut down specific people that do great work.
Advertising on this channel, we don't ask for money. We do it because we want to help. But it doesn't help.
So can I ask you a question on your show?
Yes.
I'm gonna ask you the same question I ask everybody else when we went on their shows. So I'm on your show and I'm sure it is blown up. So the more people that come on, the more money this show makes.
No, I make no money.
We don't make money. We're not monetized.
Zero money.
It's not monetized.
And we
We're
don't
not a
take
monetary
money.
show.
No, they don't monetize.
No.
We do not
Right, okay.
monetize. We do not monetize. It costs me money to do this.
Yeah, and
Web
Chris,
sleuth
So
that's
the
why
reason why I
completely
asked
show
that,
I will go on.
It's completely free,
Well,
and the website is as well.
No
right,
advertising.
so the reason why I'm asking that question, okay,
Mm-hmm.
is because if people are true to what they say in their heart, especially those, and they know who I'm talking about, the clickers, the shows that make this money, I would love for you to make a public announcement for every dollar you've made. If you truly do this for the goodness of your heart, every dollar that you have made, you should donate it to the cause, not to your personal gain.
I can tell you just about 100% of everything over and above my living expenses are donated to these cases. It costs a lot of money to take airfare, stay in hotels, and drive rental cars, right? Those aren't cheap. It's $300 or $400 a week to have a rental car. Nobody takes that into consideration. It's easy to talk about not needing to be monetized when you're sitting at home behind a computer. But for those of us that get out there and really do shoe leather investigative work for our reporting here on our shows, it's not, we have a lot of overhead on our channels, lots and lots of overhead. So there is that. I will tell you, this channel is monetized. Bullhorn Betty channels are monetized across multiple platforms because it takes money to get out to these places. So it's either I have my hand out to you or we monetize the channel and get ad revenue. Take your pick.
Right.
Well, yeah, we don't, like I said, we make zero
we don't
money. It
make
costs
money.
us money to
And
do
I
it.
appreciate it and I respect that. Thank y'all ladies for that. I will give you that.
So, but no, I understand what you're saying. But again, it's just like with, Nancy Grace or with news media, they report the news. Unfortunately, this is social media. And I agree, there's people out there, and I'm not going to even say their names, but they know who they are. They do this crap to get clickbait so they can make more money, and it's disgusting.
No, we actually investigate. We investigate the truth behind the statements, and that's what good investigative reporters do. And we're going to continue to investigate and report on cases that matter to our audience, and we will not be infringed upon by our government. We don't threaten people. We definitely don't assault people. We are law and order. We follow the law to a T. and very thankful that we do, because I think that's the only thing that's going to save my hide in the end of all of this, is just how well I documented my trip and my journey, and how I wasn't stalking any individual, nor did I threaten any individual. Saying a law enforcement advised me to get a gun is not a threat by any way, shape, or form. It was a conversation. It was a statement that I relayed to my audience from another officer, a law enforcement officer, while he had a body cam. So those statements can definitely be taken and proven without a doubt, without a shadow of a doubt. Where those statements came from. Everybody knows that the statement related to the machete, I've had a machete on my wish list from the Summer Wells case when we were out in the woods and it was hard to get in. And I reiterated it when we were in Paola Miranda's case, because we were out in the freaking swamp and the crap that we had to crawl through. A machete would have been very, very good to cut through some of that shrubbery. And so finally, after 3 years, somebody purchased my machete off my wish list. And we were going to be going out in the woods of Tennessee. And I made it very clear, this will be very good about cutting through some of the vines and stuff like that. That came back. And somehow me going into the woods of Tennessee with a machete to cut down vines ended up being a threat levied upon these people, which is a crock of shit. Both of those statements were a crock of machete, karate, pivot. So we all know that these statements were based upon lies and fabricated information, and so that hopefully will be taken into consideration in the appellate issue. I don't know if those will be, but from my understanding, the appellate issue is whether the proper procedures were followed, and I don't think that they were. So we will see what goes on with that. A proper service in a civil case is a requirement. It's not something you can overlook and just say, oh, she received the documents, it's service. That's not how civil cases work, and hopefully a higher court will agree with that. So I usually don't stare disseminating opinions out of respect for my friend. However, my opinion is my opinion. You've never seen me go to bat for Seth either, have you? I don't know what that is, Mexichica, but as long as you're not being rude, you're allowed and entitled to your opinion. Ginger says, I'm not a Web Sleuths fan. Sorry. I'm not really either. I've never really been. They've all attacked me over all these lies that they were fed early on in my career here on YouTube, along with a lot of other people, because it has been a cyberbullying campaign and dissemination of false information campaign against me that has been going on for 3 years. Each of these cases is a new allegations, so to speak. And so the case that we're discussing right now is Sebastian Rogers and the federal suit filed to hold the people that have coordinated and been paid to run interference. And I think and trying to take away people's freedoms and stuff like that. And I hope people get versed on the true facts, and I hope that you guys inform that guy that had the victim playing the victim so well. Oh my gosh, I never do anything mean. I'm not part of this organization. Okay. Well, there's a lot of information that is in our possession, custody, and control that completely dispute that victimization. So we're going to stop there, guys. Leilani's trial is going to be coming on at 10 a.m. I'm sure they're doing some pretrial motions right now, arguing about some things, but I know she told the jury not to be there until 10. They're not starting until 10. It's 13 minutes before. I have court at 1:30 Central Standard Time today. We'll see if the judge gives me some reprieve on this. I don't think he's going to give me 45 days. In all fairness, I don't know if I'm going to need 45 days. I just need to be compensated for the time that I have been down and the disruption that I am going to continue for the next week or two, because again, I have to do legal research. It's hard to do legal research when your internet goes down for 2 or 3 hours at a time. So I am being prejudiced by these hurricanes even now when everything is back up and running. So Anyways, guys, I love you. God bless. Go rock it out. We're going to continue this. We're at 147.40 on this video where this stepfather wasn't invited but couldn't handle the conversation and wanted to interject and completely derail the conversation from Sebastian Rogers and the information they were finding into his feelings and how unfairly he's been treated with no regard for the missing autistic medically needy child that they were required to take care of and make sure was safe. And I think a lot of people have a lot of questions and still do, despite all of these negative things going on and these people trying to take away people's freedoms because of their commentary and then screaming on the flip side of that, I have my rights. Well, so does everybody else. And you don't mind taking it away from the other people and then crying victim because they've had enough. So that's where we're at. We're still going to be advocating for Sebastian Rogers. We're going to be enlightening our audience on why we feel the way we feel and the information and receipts like this that we have to help support. Make it a great day. God bless each and every one of you. Rock it out with your coffee beans out and